Hey everybody, Brian the Wild Armenian, rat ride carport builder, mechanic, whatever you want to call me. You know, don't call me late for lunch. Hey, and if you would, please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe to my channel. Man, I need all the help I can get. Share it too. Awesome. That would be very awesome for me. Man, trust me, I need all the help I can get. Oh boy. Well, this past week was, like they always said, a humdinger. I'm still working. And I gave, of course, I gave my notice in November, and they got around to December I think it was the 6th, to get around me, my manager and assistant manager. And so they go, oh, they kind of act like they're in a pickle. I got them in a bind. Well, they should have had, when I said I'm retiring back in November, hey, put an ad in the paper, go Craigslist, whatever, recruiter.com or whatever that site is, do it, I'm serious. I mean what I said. They didn't come and offer me a great deal like, hey, we'll give you double your salary and you can, that didn't. They just come by with emergency. Of course, they're too busy and they don't care about me. That's what that sounded like. And they're very disappointed that I retired. Oh, well, So, that's the way it is. They're going to have to accept it, and it's hard to let go. They'll probably have to work a little harder now. And that's okay, too. And I don't know. It's like talking to a bunch of politicians, I guess. And nothing wrong with politicians. There's some good ones, I guess, But that's another topic we could talk about, and I don't want to get political, so I better shut my mouth. Anyway, this is great. So it's just all a learning behavior now in my life, and I'm going to walk out around the other part of the property. I guess I'm kind of shy. I don't want my neighbors thinking I'm strange or going around talking to myself. A lot of them don't realize what a GoPro stick is, and I'll probably say, Brian's off his rocker. Well, I am. Oh, geez. So, I'm very grateful for the situation I'm in, or the predicament I'm in today. And Lord knows I worked for it. I worked hard for it. And it's just like my manager and assistant manager. I think they had a bit of an acceptance problem, I guess. I don't know. I think the Pretenders, Christy Hine and the Pretenders had a song, Working on the Chain Gang. And boy, I tell you what, that song is depressing, back in the day when I heard it, and even the video led up to the guys. I don't know if you ever see the video of that, where had these guys in office suits, like office guys, in suits and all that, and they're got sledgehammers and they're in a pit breaking rocks. Well, I guess what I've done is broken the chain, and oh well. And so, I had to accept it too. I'll be honest with you; it's kind of a life-changing event for me, and it's all right too. I made a video a week ago, and I'm sorry that I'm with a loss of a family member, and just things were going on, preparing this and that, and haven't had really time to make a video, and I apologize for that. I enjoy it, and I enjoy the feedback I get and the support and the love from all of y'all. I really do. It's like another family. It's just awesome. I really do. I mean that from my bottom of my heart. And so I apologize, and I hope to make more and make more good content too. And like I always said, hey, I've had some people say, hey, thanks for good advice and all that, and I appreciate that. But you know what? I want to say something. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a guy. Matter of fact, I am a mechanic. I was ASC certified mechanic for many years, and so that I am. But I just share my life experiences and the things I had to go through, and I like to throw out wisdom nuggets if I can, because they've helped me over the years. And I figure, I can't keep it. I got to give it away, and that's that's what it's all about today. And that leaves me a very fruitful life today. And to share my experience, strength, and hope too with people that, you know, whatever, when my mom used to say it, it's always darkest before the dawn. And that's a well-known saying. Yeah, that's an old saying. And she was from the Great Depression era, so they really had to live. They really had it rough back then in the 30s. But that's so true. You know, and it is dark. Sometimes you just don't know if you're going to make it through the other side. Ooh, boy, that glare is something else here. Let me walk around this other tree here, see if we get this tree to shadow, put a little shadow on this thing. There we go. Yeah, and that's it with the nutshell. You know, you just got to go through life events. I've had to do it many a time, and getting to retire now. You know, I'm 65 this month, December. And I got my Medicare, I got my Ultimate Vantage plan, and it's great, man. We just went to Walmart last night, and it gives me like $75 on groceries, and we bought over-the-counter stuff like powders and stuff like that a few days ago, and it's awesome. It's cool, man. Really neat. I got a free gym membership. I can join multiple gyms with silver sneakers. That's why I'm in my out today. I worked out this morning, and boy, my muscles are going, we're so glad you came back, you know. I've been with this job almost 13 years, but I was self-employed. And before the economy took a tank, and I had to go out and get a regular job, I guess, and give up my entrepreneurship, I guess, for a while, and which was a blessing. You know, they had life insurance, health insurance, I mean, and I had colon cancer, which was, you know, that was over $100 and something thousand worth of surgeries at the time, and I was blessed that the job, it served me right, and you know, it served me well, and that was a blessing, you know. And I didn't have insurance when I was self-employed, and that's a lot of reasons why I didn't want to retire at 62. I should have. I know I left a lot of money on the table, but going through what I was going through back then, you know, I just said, I don't want to take a chance. I'm going to wait until I get Medicare, and you know, and get my A and B and D and all that, and before I go make sure I'm covered. And so that's why I waited till I'm 65. And so, you know, I was blessed getting back to that job. You know, it served me right well, you know, and I'm not knocking my employer, not by all means, you know, and I understand, you know, and I appreciate too that they, you know, and it kind of makes me feel good too that, you know, I was at least respected in such ways, you know, but you know, I just got to let it go, and they got to let it go, and we got to move on. And I did offer to work part-time, and I guess that's still a part of me, just wants to keep working too, though. I've worked, I started, I think I was 14 years old. I had to get a note from my parents and the school or something like that so I could go work. And I remember there was a grocery store called Cash and Carry, and I was a bag boy there, and that was my first job. And then I went from there to a Western Sizzler steakhouse, washing dishes, bussing tables, you know, and I worked, and I couldn't wait to go work. Man, I just couldn't. I busted the door down to go work. And, you know, as I used to say, what is it? Fumes and perfume, you know, like gas and women, you know, perfume, that old saying back then. But, yeah, you know, it's like I've worked all my life, and I think I'm prone to work. I can't stand still, you know, I really can't. But the whole idea is the freedom of it. It is the freedom to be retired, get an income, got my insurance, Medicare now, and I get a little money, you know, it's not a whole lot. It's not what I was making at my job, but you know what? It covers the basics, you know, and it's just like, again, I'm still bragging on that one video, and I think the good old Lord helped me with it. It was like, live like a catfish, live within my means. And that's so true, you know, and I live within my means. So I cover all the staples, you know, and that covers it. And, you know, you young people, I've had a lot of young people ask me, God, how do you retire? I don't think I'll ever retire. The way things are going, and inflation, and the car payments are high, and house payments, can't even get a mortgage, or the mortgage is crazy. But you know what? It was crazy back then when I was young too. Things were crazy, you know, and back in the Jimmy Carter days, man, things were bad then. Inflation was crazy. And when I was a young man, I said, man, there's no way in heck. You know, we had the gas embargo back in the 70s, and it just looked like no future. And here I am. I'm 65. I'm retiring. You know, I got about maybe 3 weeks left, and I did it. I really did it. You know, and here's a guy that's been bankrupt twice and divorced twice. You know, and I've been dirt poor, homeless. You know, and I did it. You know, and it can be done. Don't give up faith. Don't give up hope. You know, it can be done. I always like to walk on this side of the park. I don't know why. I don't know, because all my junk is back there. But you know, it's this. You gotta. I don't know. I had some tricks. You know, that I learned. I got these tapes and buying real estate and how to invest, and I listened to these gurus, and a lot of them had great advice. I know a lot of them made money on the books, and I tried some of their techniques. It didn't work for me, you know, and maybe I had a little bit more wax build up in my ear, or whatever it is. But you know, my first home deal was a lease option. There was this old mobile home that was sitting and abandoned, and I called the owners, and they were in Mississippi. I'm in Florida. And they said, oh yeah, that was my parents' home. They passed away. And this house, man, are you wanting to buy it? Because it sure is a burden to us. And we'd be glad to sell it to you. And I said, well, I don't really have the money. I don't have no credit. But what I can do is I can give you $1,000 down, and I can make payments. I forgot what the payments are. Maybe $300 a month. I don't know. But and for the property, for the little lot, it was land with a little single wide mobile home. It was around 10 grand. And it was indeed need of big time work, you know, fixing it up. The floors were rotted in some areas and that kind of stuff. The bathroom was in bad shape. But I did it. And I got in there and I started working on the thing and fixing it up. And I was making the payments. And I think it was like $300 a month. And I got in there and I really busted my you-know-whats. And I turned around, and I think about 3 months later, I sold it. And I made $25,000 on it. And that was my start, you know, and of course, then I had to go pay taxes on that too, you know. You have to pay taxes, but you know what? A lot of people complain about paying, oh, you got to pay taxes, you know, you got to get tax shelters and all that. You know what? When you don't have nothing, you'll be glad to pay taxes, you know. Everybody, and that's some of the, oops, I got a sand spur, but a lot of people go, oh, well, you make money, the government's going to take it. Well, they don't take it all, but you got to pay taxes on it, you know. That's the whole game. And I mean, I didn't have money when I started, you know. I had only $1,000. So I'd be glad to pay taxes, absolutely. So yeah, you know, a lot of people put roadblocks on things. You know, it gets in your mind. You know, you think, well, you know, I don't want to get anything. The government will take it all anyway. No, they won't. You know, if you do things right, I know I'm walking from the sun. If you do things right and do it the right way, live right, and it's okay. It's really okay. And you can get ahead, you know. And so then, you know, of course, I said I didn't have any credit. Remember a friend of mine, Paul, he was a mortgage broker, and he said that, well, Brian, how you can build your credit up, get you a Visa card. And at the time, I was offered a Visa card. This is after being bankrupt twice. They offered me a Visa card. Visa did, with $500 limit. And Paul said, what you do with that Visa card is you take and buy a fishing reel. Go to Walmart, buy a fishing reel. Let's say it's $100, you know. He says, charge $100 on it. Make the minimum payments, you know, whatever the payments is, $12 a month. Make them. Don't pay over. Definitely don't be delinquent, no doubt. But pay that $100 off. And I did that. I did what Paul said. And then they saw I was good on paying the minimum payments. and they're making money on me. They're making that interest money payments on me, and they got another sucker. They look at it that way. So then they raised it up to $800, and then I went and bought something else. Bought a pair of tennis shoes, made the minimum payments, and before you know it, I mean, as I was doing that, before I know it, I had a $10,000 credit line with Visa. And of course, I didn't charge no $1,000, but I kept charging little things here and there, paying it off. And then then when I got this job, I started socking some money away, and I got a mortgage. I found a home. It was a bank-owned home, a foreclosed home that the bank owned, and I put down. I forgot. I think it was a couple $1,000 along with my income tax return, and I had a job history showing that I'd at least worked, 2 years at this job, and so I had a good good work thing. So I got the job, and got the home, and I went for a 30-year fix, and I think the payments were like $450 a month. And that was with the insurance and everything, the taxes escrowed in it. Well, the deal was that since the kind of loan I had, I had to live in it for a year, and they didn't want to sell it to people flipping houses. They want somebody buying it and flipping it because they want to make money off the interest. I guess they're selling a note to a bank, so they want to make sure they sell something where the bank is going to make money off of me. So the deal was, I had to live in it for a year before I could even try to sell it, and the house was in dire need of working. Yeah, there goes an airplane. I live close by an airport, so a lot of times you're going to hear the airplane fly by. But yeah, so I did it. I did the deal. Had the house for about a year. Actually, got it fixed up. It needed fixing up. The carpet was nasty. I paid a guy. We put tile in there, and I turned it into a gorgeous looking home. And I didn't modify nothing. I didn't go knocking down walls or anything. I only cleaned, painted, and did things like, got rid of the nasty carpet and put tile, and did a nice job, picked a nice paint job out, and the roof was solid, and put it on the market 13 months later, over a year, and then it was legal for me to sell it, on the contract and that agreement we did on that deal. And I had to buy, they were giving me the loan, so I had to play by their rules. So I didn't have the money to get it, and then I flipped the house, and I made a good amount of money on it. I really did. So it was well worth it. And then I took that money and I bought another home. I found another one. Bank closed, and I did the same thing, and I kept doing it. By then, I didn't have to get the kind of loan. I didn't, I got a more of a builder's loan where I didn't have no restrictions. I could keep it a month and sell it. They didn't care, But I got those conventional loans, as that's called, And I had to put a little bit more down, but yet I went 30-year fix on those too, because I always believed in keeping the payments low. And just like living like a catfish, when I fixed them, I shopped around for the best price on materials. I didn't remodel anything, didn't knock the wall down, add an addition and all that kind of stuff. I cleaned, fixed, and made it nice looking, safe home, new appliances, and even I went to Lowe's and got like these. I paid extra for like a 5-year warranty on refrigerators and stoves and stuff like that, and passed it on. So really good. So, and that's how I did it. I did it a bunch of times, and I took advantage. I worked hard too. After I got off of work, I went and worked on the houses. I'd get on the counter, lay on a counter, and like one house, I had to scrape the nasty old wallpaper off, and did stuff like that, and sand the counters, and sand the cabinets, and paint them and make them look nice. So I did a lot of physical work, but it paid off, and that's where I'm at today, and that's how I did it. So here's a guy that went from bankruptcy twice, 2 divorces, cancer, everything, that today I'm like, maybe 3 weeks, and I'm going to be retired, age 65. So you know what? The old saying is, don't give up until the miracle happens. Just trudge that road, and you can do it. Don't ever let anybody say you can't. And with that, hey, again, please like and subscribe. And God bless you for watching my videos. And give me thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Good night.